it was quite an experience. I'll put it that way. Good morning. That's the part where you say good morning.
Good morning. I don't know if you can see me.
They can see you. It's pointed at you. So we just got done at the post office, which is right there. How was it?
Oh my god! It took us an hour to get it done, and it wasn't even like good. I don't even know if it'll get there.
I think it will. It seems good, assuming she actually put stamps on the box. Here's what happened. You want to start?
Yeah. Okay. So we went into the post office. We just chose the big line because that's where everybody was going, and then we're almost to the front of the line, and I realized that like nobody has letters or packages or something. They all have like pieces of paper they filled out and money, and they're handing that, and they're getting money back, and they're walking away. So I figured we were in the wrong line. So we got out of that line. We went into a different line, which was shorter.
Turned out to be the right line.
And when we got up to the front of that line, well, the lady didn't speak English. This was the first time I've ever had to ship something that nobody has spoken English for.
I had one that I sent in, that I dealt with in Innsbruck, and he didn't speak much, but he's like enough to say like name, country, street, like at least basic English. She spoke none.
Well, the whole post office. Well, I mean,
they found someone. Yeah, they found one lady who spoke
helpful.
English, but she wasn't helpful.
So we go up there. I'm trying to communicate like ship. I showed her my stuff. Ship. I pointed to the boxes. I need a box. She's like, oh, okay. So she goes and gets this box. She makes it up for me. She starts putting my stuff in the box, like just randomly, and then she's like, oh, no, that's not gonna fit. So she goes and gets the next biggest box, which is like double the size of what we need.
Yeah, to explain that, like, we have like, Laura had 3 mugs to send and her shoes, and I stuck in like a sweater and a scarf as some extra padding. And she had just like taken the sweater and scarf and put them on the bottom, then just took the rest of the bag and set it on top, and then looked confused when it didn't fit. Like it's not complicated.
I spent a couple of stressful minutes trying to tell her, stop, no, use the smaller box. I can pack it myself. I've done this for 4 months. She could not understand a word of it. Then the lady next to her spoke a little English. She's like, no, you have to go. The guy over there will box it for you.
Like, you can't pack your own box. He has to do it for you.
She sounded kind of angry. So
yeah.
I'm like, okay, whatever, just give me the smaller box. And so we went over there. I just grabbed all of my stuff. Well, we grabbed all of our stuff. We went over there, and I just packed it by myself.
Wrapped the mugs in the clothing and
put the flat stuff on the bottom where they're supposed to go. Wrapped the mugs, put everything on top. Like, we know how to do this. And then he ended up charging me for it.
Well, he sealed up the box and taped it. Now, to give you a rough idea, like, this is a plain white box. It's not even like the official postal boxes that we've been seeing, like in bright colors with lines for writing the address, and then tapes it and proceeds to cut the tape. He has a steak knife there that he cuts the tape with, just to give you an idea of how, like, frankly, how very unprofessional this whole setup is. Like, it seems very just kind of thrown together.
And then he charges me 27 euro cents for packing the box, which I did myself.
He did nothing.
He did absolutely nothing.
I mean,
he gave me some paperwork to fill out, and the customs stuff, so I filled that out. It was all ready, went back, gave her the stuff, and she's like, wait. She was looking all confused, and there was some commotion, and she was talking to people and yelling at, I don't even know what.
And then there was the guy who came in and had paperwork or something, so she spent over 5 minutes doing that. I don't even know what that was. While stuff's just sitting there, and we're just like waiting. We were in line.
Well, he would have been waiting for us anyway.
Yeah, but still. So
he forgot a piece of paper that I had to fill out, so I filled that out. And then, I don't even know. She was just filling stuff out and putting stuff in the computer. I'm not even sure if it's going to get there.
We're assuming it's going to work.
That was so stressful.
It was so disorganized. I mean, and this is, like, I don't want to be all negative and talk bad about it, but it was really disorganized. Like, It was, I mean...
When the lady told us that, like, you need to go over there, that guy will package it for you. There was no guy sitting there.
There was no one there.
It was an empty desk. Like, we didn't even know, how was I supposed to know to go over there? And it's just an empty desk. He didn't even have the boxes over there. Like, the boxes were behind the counter.
We had to go behind the counter, or to go to the counter to get the box,
and then go
over there to, like, it really, I mean, it just was so, like, just kind of thrown together and, like, there was no organization, no, like, official anything about it. Just it was quite an experience. I'll put it that way.
I'm just going to cross my
Not
fingers
positive
that that's
on it.
the last one I ship.
I would try to make it the last one you ship.
I sure hope so, because that was not fun.
Unless you get a lot more mugs, it should be. I don't know. I'm hoping that my sweater and scarf make it back to the States. I mean, if they don't, it's not the end of the world, but, like, with the way that experience went. So, Mr. and Mrs. Laura's parents, if you get a box, it's a white box with a bunch of yellow tape on it that says...
They've been telling me when they get stuff.
Okay, well, be expecting it. So now today, we're off to see a bit more of Belgrade, and we're going to the Nikola Tesla Museum, because they have a Nikola Tesla Museum. And I don't know a whole lot about Nikola Tesla, but, like, from what I know of him, he's, like, really awesome. He was an inventor 30 years ago, in, like, the mid-1900s, so it's been a while. But he's, like, really cool, and they have him on their 100 dinar bill, and I'm really excited for that museum. And I don't even like museums.
Should probably do a short update, because we didn't say anything since this morning. So, after our last video, I can't even remember, that was the post office one. We went to the Nikola Tesla Museum, which was really interesting. It's tiny, but there's a movie about him, and then some lady talked about some of his inventions that they had on display. For those of you who don't know about him, he was an inventor. He died 70 years ago, born in present-day Croatia, but spent a lot of time in the U.S., and he had U.S. citizenship. He invented a lot of cool things. He actually invented the radio before it was, like, before we thought it was invented, right? Like, before it was actually invented?
Well, there are different people claim to have invented the radio, but apparently he actually invented it.
And he also... Shoot, did he work with Edison?
He worked with Edison.
He worked with Edison.
They ended up, like...
He worked with Edison to invent the light bulb, or, like, light. He created light.
He worked a lot with electricity, and, like, wireless light, which was, like, a super, like, there was nothing wireless at that point. So between, like, radio and, like, wireless light, which is, like, the Tesla coil, the energy-producing, transmitting thinger, like, transmits the energy through the air. So we actually got to see that in action, like holding fluorescent light tubes, and they turn on the thing and they glow, and they're not connected to anything. Like, it's just really cool.
He actually, I don't understand all of the physics behind this, but there's like two different ways to create electricity, and he had one way and Edison had one way, and his way... Alternating current, Tesla's way... is now dominant. Like, that's the more efficient way to do it, but Edison was trying to use the other way.
And that's actually
I thought that was interesting.
The main reason they stopped working together, it sounds like, is because it was that whole issue, like, Tesla wanted to pursue alternating current, and he's like, this is the way to go, and Edison was like, no, direct current, and it turns out that alternating current is definitely the better way to do it, and that's the way that has won out.
Yeah, and he also created a way for free energy, where you conduct electricity through the earth or something.
Yeah, because like he tested using the earth to conduct electricity and using the atmosphere and then using like the ionosphere, which is like apparently an upper part of the atmosphere. And he found that the earth was like the best conductor of electricity. And I don't fully understand how it works, but basically what he had created was a way that you would be able to take electricity, however you generate it from like water power, solar, whatever, and transmit it through the earth, like without wires or anything, that it would just transmit through the earth and anyone could just plug into the planet, kind of, and use it as a big electrical tower thing. And the problem was that, like, he got a lot of his funding from, who was it?
JP Morgan?
It was JP Morgan.
No, he went to JP Morgan to ask for funding for this because he's like, this is such a cool idea, but I don't have money to do it. And he said no because there's no money in it. Like, you can't profit from free energy. So,
right. But like there was the thing where he had like the biggest Tesla coil that he ever like made was it could power lamps. Was it like 40 kilometers away?
Mm-hmm.
So like 20 miles away, like just wireless. Like these lamps didn't have to be plugged into anything. This thing just like transmitted that much electricity through the air. And when it's at like that high of a current or voltage, there's a certain like low frequency, high voltage, some combination that's like not harmful to humans at all. Like you don't even notice that it's there. And that frequency, like, you could use to power things like miles and miles away wirelessly. It's really cool.
So that was interesting. And then we came back to the hostel and we did some planning for like 2 hours because it takes a lot of work to travel so much. It's actually kind of a pain. Like to figure out how to get to train stations and how to get to hostels and what we're going to do, where we're going to be, and when the buses leave and where they leave from and all of that. So we did that, and then we had dinner the first night we were here because it was really good. Then we came back here, and that's it. So that was the rest of our day. Tomorrow we have another minibus to Romania, and then we're going to take a train to Bucharest, which is the capital of Romania. That's an 8-hour train ride, so, and we don't have tickets, so we'll see if we get there. I mean, we will, or it's not a problem, we just have to buy tickets, so. Another full day of traveling tomorrow, so.
Woohoo.
Yay.
So much fun.
So, good night.